First of all, Jim Jones, I mean, the show. I mean, I've never seen an episode of it. I've never watched a clip of it on YouTube. You know, ain't Jim Jones the dude that took everybody to South America and made them drink the Kool-Aid? I mean, come on, man, you can follow this guy. On his first album, like, I'm on my way to church or something, just like Jim, just like the dude, you know what I mean? So, I don't follow a lot of that, you know, and you know, I mean, black love, I mean, why do we have to discuss these things as black people? Why are we always being asked, what is black love? You know what I mean? I mean, what is the actor name? Michael Baldwin, always slapping his girls around and screaming at his daughter and his wife all the time in public and all of that. We don't ever hear white people being asked, what is white love? You know what I mean? We don't ever hear them. Why do we have to deal with these pathologies all the time? You know what I mean? You know, love is love. You know, love is love. I mean, but it's always us. You know, it's never Jesse James and Sandra Bullock on these panels talking about what is white love. You know, so why do we have to deal with that? I mean, seriously though. You know, I know I look a little young, you know what I mean? My first record came out in 1991. You know what I mean? My first record came out in 1991, right? 1991. I've been married for 20 years. For 20 years, uninterrupted. Uninterrupted. I have children by the same sister. You know what I mean? And I don't think we need to spend time talking about, like, look, it's all right. The media is creating these perceptions that we're just dysfunctional in everything we do. That's just what it is. I mean, for example, like the Michael Baldwin and the Sandra Bullock, Jesse James thing, it's like black kid in the inner city. He takes a old school Chevy Caprice. He put 28-inch rims on it, candy painted out. He put leopard skin leather all through it, chrome steering wheels, chrome pedals. You know what I mean? And the first thing that come out of their mouth, that's ghetto. They devalue it. They depreciate it instantly, right? White kid, take a car, put big mags on it, put fire on it, the engine coming out of the hood. I mean, he cut the hood out and the engine is short. When he pull off, fire shoot out of the back of his vehicle, right? He take a pickup truck. He take a hearse and paint brick tombstones on the side of this hearse. Put big 45-inch rims and tires on it, right? But what do? They don't say this is some trailer park stuff. What they do, they say, open up that arena over there. Give them a venue to display their talent. It's art. You know what I mean? But it's the value in this society. It's the value that's been placed on people based on the system of white supremacy. Period. And we could dance around that all we want, but all of these things go right back to that ideal. You know, that's just what it is. I mean, for 20 years, Poor Righteous Teachers, my group, every album we put out, we put an album out that was glorifying, respecting, loving black women. You know what I mean? On every album we put out, Shakila 1, Shakila 2, Shakila 3, My Three Wives, Shakila 4, we just went on and on and on. And now I'm doing solo records and I'm doing the same thing. You know what I mean? On 2007, This Is Love. That's the record on the album. The album comes out. I mean, what in the first verse of the record, I'm telling the sister, you like the bridge between a scholar and his understanding. Your vibe aligns the planets. You bring the knowledge to its achievement. Queen and Zinga and Even. Bathsheba with reason. Teaching the seeds up in the Garvey school. Bob Marley blues humming his redemption song. Black is night and all your clothes on. Black is night, sex appeal and all your clothes on. You're not naked out in front of, I mean, this is what I do. Black love is what I do, through and through. You know what I mean? But what happened though, right? But what happened? We talk about how these social media networks is an alternative that will leverage the mainstream perception. It's not true. Hip Hop DX, Brian Smith, the writer for Hip Hop DX, white guy. What did he do about, he reviewed the album for that song? This is what he said. That's not love. Where's the arguing? Where's the arguing over milk and Pampers? This is not love. Where's the domestic issues, the violence? Like, yo, wait a minute. But this is what they said about the record. And this wasn't Clear Channel. This wasn't Rolling Stone. This wasn't internet. You know what I mean? Hip Hop DX. This is what they said about the record. You know what I mean? And it, you know, and it, I mean, the comments, they chewed him out about it, you know, but it's just what it is, and it's where we are. You know, we have to understand how white supremacy works. You know, we have to confront that. I think that we're not the ones who need to be on these panels. The white world need to be on these panels. We need to be digging into their pathologies, into their psychologies. That would be a better study. You know what I mean? All the time. It's like every conversation we have always turn around and comes back to some black pathology. We have a monopoly on some of these things. It's like, yo, black man, Ike Turner is the poster boy for domestic violence? Really?
Right.
Come on, man. How many white women we done saw float from the bottom of the lake? Seriously. You know what I mean? This is just what happens. It's all the time. How do we get a monopoly on these things? And I'm less accepting of these pathologies that they've attributed to us exclusively. Like we have some kind of exclusive monopoly on ignorance. You know what I mean? This thing is pervasive everywhere. I mean, they have a big center out California for Asian men who abuse their wives. But you don't hear about this on television. You don't see a group of Asian women in a salon saying, yeah, Asian men ain't no good. You know what I mean? And jumping on every panel and platform to discuss some black male pathology around women. I mean, come on, this is ridiculous, but this is what we do. All we buy into it and we feed into it all the time. Everybody's doing it. It's not good, but everybody's doing it. We shouldn't have a monopoly on it, and we shouldn't have to explain what is black love all the time. What is black love? What is black culture? And all these things. We're always having these discussions. You know, our problem plainly is white supremacy and racism. That's what it's been. That's what it will be. And until white people check themselves, we're going to be right here. The problem is not ours. You know what I mean? It's like you can't call a reaction to racism. You can't, you know, you're looking at the victims, you're looking at symptoms of a deeper and more pervasive problem. And you want to spend time checking these problems. And a lot of people do it because it's profitable to do so. You know what I mean? Treating the symptoms is profitable. That's how the medical industry works, right?
Right.
They not curing nothing. That's what they do all day long. So if we want to get right down to the root of the problem, it rests in the values that white supremacy has placed on human beings. If you're white or closer to white, you're better. If you're black and closer to black, you're worse. That's just what it is here. That's what it's always been. And we have to deal with that, and then we'll cut through all of this nonsense right here. I mean, it's everywhere we go. It's in the public. The problem with the public school systems is the same thing.
Yes.
Problem with the criminal justice system is the same thing. It's the same thing. Everywhere you go, Troy Davis. They executed Troy Davis with no evidence.
Right.
Yep, none.
Right? White guy, same court, 2 years before, 2008.
Yeah.
White guy, same state, same system.
Confess.
Let him go.
Yeah.
You can go. That's just what white supremacy does. Think about it. You watch CNN and they talk about how scared they are to get on an airplane next to an Arab or Muslim. Wait a minute. Timothy McVeigh blew up Oklahoma City. He was a white boy that looked just like you. But you're not afraid of white people when they come and sit next to you. Right? The guy over in Norway killed all their 80 children.
Yeah.
Blew up one building, shot up all the kids, right? They said that he was unfit to stand trial. He's delusional, so he might not see any prison time now. He was delusional. That's the same thing they said about the kids who going up in the markets over in Palestine with the bombs on them, right? They're saying they're delusional, but they're saying kill them. That's the difference. They're saying kill them. They're diagnosing them the same. You know what I mean? They're delusional. They believe that when they go to heaven, they're going to get virgins. Right? So, this is delusion. Why are you killing them, but you're not killing the guy that looks like you?
Right.
That's white supremacy. When 95% of all crimes committed against white people are committed by other white people, why are we talking about black on black crime?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't hear them talking about white on white crime.
Right.
We're not the criminals here. There's a good book that I'm going to leave y'all with that I think you have to get this book. It's called The Criminalizing of a Race by Shashi McIntyre. You have to get this book. She goes all the way back from slavery, and she show you how the laws were created to criminalize black people. The first gun laws in the country was that a black man could not have one. Like David D was saying, how they went around the community, said, yo, there's 10,000 gangs here. We need more money. There's a problem. There's a threat. Don't you know that's how the police department was able to change their firearms from a 32 to a 38? They said the black man on drugs is unable to put down with a bullet from a 32. So we need 38s. That's just what they do. They've criminalized us to no end. And we're feeding into the criminalization. So now you find black people in the community, when a black child do something ingenuitive, like hip hop, some of our parents were saying that ain't music, boy. They were saying that ain't music. You messing up my records. You know what I mean? You messing up my records. You scratching my records. You can't do that. Know what I mean? But what the capitalists did, capitalist America said, yo, look, I'm going to make a turntable that can do exactly that. You know, the capitalists came in and they developed the technology to get paid off of our ingenuity. You know what I mean? And that's what they do over and over and over again, because we're stuck in the idea of us being criminals. Everything we do is criminal. Everything. The way we wear our clothes, oh, that's gangster. That's braids in your hair, that's gangster. You know what I mean? They want to associate everything we do with something negative. And that's just what white kids they talk about black kids sagging. The white kids started the skinny jeans craze.
Marky Mark.
With the belt going right behind the bottom of your crack of your butt. Tight, riding around on skateboards. And nobody's saying, yo, they need to stop this sagging trend in the white community. But then we're not having these discussions, man. Yeah. You know, it's like we shouldn't be having these kind of discussions, man. Just do the work. You know what I mean? Show a child the way to go and keep it moving, man. I don't believe the hype. I'm from that school, man. I'm from that school.
Hey, can we give it up for our panel, our media panel? As well as put the exclamation point on that.